How are we doing, everyone? Sam here from United People's TV, here with the live reaction after Jose Mourinho's press conference ahead of our game against Feyenoord in the Europa League on Thursday at Old Trafford. Got that out of the way. Here is what he has had to say. Let's get started. Talking about United's form, obviously we've drawn our last 3 Premier League home games against Stoke, Burnley and Arsenal. A lot of frustrating points dropped. Got spanked against Chelsea, lost away to Fenerbahce. But here's what he had to say about our form. He said, results are not good enough, especially if you compare the results with the way the team is playing. As an example, if you draw against Arsenal, it's quite a normal result. It's not a dramatic result. You play so well and dominate totally, and then the result becomes really bad because of the way we are performing, especially the last 3 matches at home: Stoke, Burnley and Arsenal. As I said, United should have 6 more points than we do in the league, at least. And if we did have that, we would be 2 points off top. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose. 2 or 3 points, one of the two. But United really aren't playing well enough at the moment. United are playing well enough. We're just not finishing. We're just not seeing the games out. We're just not finishing well enough. But as I said, I'm happy with our current performances. I'm not happy with the results. I'm happy with the performances, and so is Mourinho. He was asked whether the approach is going to change from the last time we played Feyenoord. Obviously, we lost to them in our opening Europa League game. Here's what he had to say. He said, we need 4 points. There is no space for a defeat, so tomorrow is a game where we have 2 options. Yes, we are going to approach that game knowing it is a knockout game. By 4 points, he means he wants 4 points from FC Zorya, our second game, and also Feyenoord. So we need 4 points from a home game against Feyenoord and a tricky away game against Zorya Luhansk. Now let's see what happens there. But if we don't win 3 points against Feyenoord on Thursday, then it's pretty much out of our hands. Mourinho's been talking about his contract. He said the 3-year contract I was given is a fair period of time to be where we want to be. Is that what he said? Yeah, to be where we want to be. 3 years is not just about transfer windows. It's about my relations with the players and my understandings, my personality as a manager. It's stability. It's all about that. It's a fair period of time. But if you ask if I'm waiting for my 3rd year to have good results, no. I'm going to try immediately in my 1st season to get results. And I mean, 3 years, do you think he'll have the patience among fans and the club if he was to wait 3 years to win the title? Or do you think people would expect more from Mourinho early on? What I expect from Mourinho this season, what I expected from Mourinho, was a team that could challenge for the Premier League. I didn't think we were capable of winning the Premier League, but I expected us to mount a challenge, to be up there in the top 3, fighting for it. At the moment, we're fighting for top 4. Now, that's lower than where I thought we would be, but I didn't expect Mkhitaryan not to have completed 90 minutes by this point. I didn't expect Zlatan to miss as many chances as he is. I didn't expect Baye to get out injured. X, Y, Z. There's a lot of reasons, but United haven't fully clicked yet. And as I said in lots and lots of videos, I see it as a case of when and not if that happens. And it sounds like Mourinho is feeling exactly the same. He's praised the fans as always. Best fans in the country, as far as I'm concerned, especially the best away fans. Interestingly enough, he's talking about Ibrahimovic and his future at the club. He said, the situation is simple with Zlatan. He has a year plus another. We are happy with him. We are going to execute the option of a 2nd season. So Mourinho's confirming that Man United are going to offer Zlatan Ibrahimovic a 2nd year at the club. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below, as always. But it sounds like Zlatan's going to be here for at least another season. And I still expect him to score at least 20 goals in all competitions this year. But did I expect him to be here next year? I'm not sure. I think that all depended on how he got on this year. I think it's a little bit too early to say whether that's been a complete success or not. But he's only like 3-4 goals behind Diego Costa in the league, and everyone is sucking him off, and everyone's saying that Zlatan's a failure. If he had buried more of his chances, he'd be top scorer in the league. End of conversation. But he isn't. Let me know whether you want him to stay around for another year, and whether you think that maybe we should be moving on next season. More on Ibrahimovic, he said he's happy, he's committed, he's loving life as a football player at Man United, and it's the last big challenge of his wonderful career. Now, Zlatan has been talking about maybe moving to the MLS at some point. That probably won't happen next season by the sounds of it. Well, I suppose it all depends on what Zlatan wants to do. Maybe Zlatan doesn't want to stay. But let's see what goes on there. Mourinho's been talking about the United job. He said it's as difficult as he expected. The job is difficult. I said at the time, as I was saying, that I wanted to win the Premier League this year, but I knew the risk. But again, just focusing on the last 3 matches at home, my question is how it was possible that we didn't win. With these 6 points, we would now be in the top 4, very close to 1st and 2nd, as I've been saying. So the difficult thing to accept is we played so well and didn't win these 3 matches. Now, United have just got to turn the screw. United have got to be more clinical in their finishing, more cohesive as an attacking unit, and stronger in defence. Stronger defence is going to be our hardest part with Eric Bailly out. I think we're missing him drastically, and it goes to show how weak our defence is, that the summer signing is now such an integral player in this defence. But that's what you do when you sign top quality players. They step above, and that's what he's doing. Luke Shaw isn't quite at the level he was at the start of last season yet either, before his injury against PSV. Our defence is stop, start. So is our attack. I think our midfield is looking strong. Herrera, Carrick and Pogba. We know those are our best 3 midfielders now. It's not a case of what is Man United's best midfield. We have found it. It's a case of playing that as many times as we can in the Premier League. And then Mourinho's been laughing off transfer window claims. He said, "I only do interviews with you. In football, we have all to prove week after week, and the players are the same. It's not enough to say a few years ago, it happened here or it happened there. It is not playing well last week, it's next week. Players have to play especially and do better things. That's normal." He's also talking about United signing Messi because he was asked by a Portuguese journalist. He said, "Messi, every season is the same story. Every season he's going to leave, and he never leaves. And honestly, I hope he never leaves because he belongs to Barcelona." Of course, we're not going to sign Messi. So let's move straight on from that one. Well, that would be nice. Mourinho asked if he's looking beyond his 3-year deal. He said, "We're moving step by step. I'm in the beginning of my contract. I'm in the beginning of the process, so let's go step by step. Would I like to stay here for more time than 3 years? Yes, I would. I would love it." Now, I've said this so many times. United is Mourinho's dream job. He's been waiting for it for years, and he's got it. He wouldn't have gone back to Chelsea a second time had Fergie wanted him to replace him. He would have come, all suitcases packed, bouncing into Manchester. It didn't work out. He had to wait, well, we know, another 3 years for it, but he's got it. And I'm confident he is the man that we need to reinstate this mentality to bring United back to where it should be. It's not going to be 100% pretty along the way, but that's Mourinho. Let's answer a few of your comments here, guys. Stefan saying, "Much rather we got rid of Zlatan beyond this season." Well, we'll see what goes on there. I think if Zlatan does score 20-25 goals, do you get rid of a 20-25 goal striker? They're basically the players that can win you the league. Stefan saying, "Rashford is our future main striker, 100% there. Someone I do want to see leave this summer. I don't think we should be having Wayne Rooney here anymore. I think Wayne Rooney needs to leave, but I've been saying that for a while now." People calling Zlatan Ibrahimovic a shit man with the career he has are clearly daft. That's from Jordan. Zlatan is a goal scorer, and he's only one season in the last, I think, 8 or 9, though he hasn't won the title in that season. Will he go and do that at Man United this year? Let's hope so he doesn't break that record. Does Mourinho agree with Rooney claim he's not finished? When I heard the beginning of your question, I thought you would ask me if it was worse to be in the wedding or somewhere else, and he gets up and he leaves. That's the end of the Mourinho conference. Quite not a feisty one. It wasn't feisty, but he answered his questions honestly, and I'm not surprised that Mourinho wants to be here longer than 3 years. The one thing that's, let's be honest here, let's be brutal, Mourinho is a man driven by his own ego and a man driven by his own success. And he's had success in Italy, he's had success in Spain, he's had success in Portugal, he's had success in England. The one thing that he doesn't have on his CV is a legacy on his career in the same vein as Fergie did. Somewhere where he's been there for 5, 6, 7, 8 years and maintained success. And he's a young manager in comparison to how old some of them are. And I think that's what he wants at United. It's a very hard task. But if there's any manager maybe that's capable of it, it's Mourinho. A few more points here from everyone. Saying, why get rid of Zlatan if he scores goals? Why let him go? As I said, if you're scoring 25 goals a season, why would you let that striker go? They're the sort of players that win you the league, and the sort of player, if you don't have one, you crave to have one. I'm not sure there are many teams in the Premier League that wouldn't want Zlatan in their team. Griezmann would be mint, says Jordan Devlin. For me, Griezmann is my ideal Rooney replacement. I don't know whether that's going to happen or not. Let's hope so, and maybe I think this is the time for Rooney to go. I think he really is holding us back. Red Devil Central is saying Zlatan is, but Aubameyang suits us better. I wouldn't say we're playing fast enough to get the most out of Aubameyang. I think once we're playing with wingers with genuine pace who actually are running on the outside and we're getting runners through the middle, then maybe. But something I've been complaining about is that we haven't had runners into the box that are making the most of the opportunities that we're creating on the wings, and maybe Aubameyang is the man to do that. Ian Patterson, how you doing, Ian? Saying Griezmann and Zlatan would be amazing. If you can imagine maybe Ibrahimovic up front with Griezmann just behind, Mkhitaryan on the left, Martial on the right. We've also got Mata in the squad with Pogba, Herrera, Carrick behind them, and a back four of Bailly, Shaw, Smalling and Valencia with De Gea in goal. That is a top draw team. I think Griezmann is the link between the attack and the midfield that we're missing at the moment. But let's see what happens. Final comment here from Stefan said, did he indicate if Mickey will start or come off the bench? He didn't. But let's see what happens. I personally think that Mkhitaryan will start. I don't know why he wouldn't start him in this game. He needs a start. The guy really needs it. He doesn't need 15-20 minutes at the end of the game when the match is over. He needs to start and influence it from the first whistle. And I hope that happens against Feyenoord. That is it for the reaction to Jose Mourinho's press conference ahead of Feyenoord. Thank you all for your comments, for your likes, for getting involved. We'll be back soon with more videos as always. Take it easy.